like I'd always tell my people or my men, I'd always say, I expect a lot, and what we are doing really means something. So I paid the best. I had, like I say, another thing that was happening in Panama is that people were complaining about the regular food because it was just meat and potatoes and stew every single day. And people were like, we're kind of tired of the food because I was having all the complaints come to me. I was like, if there's any complaints on the Panama Canal, I want to know about it. So all the complaints were coming to me, and people were saying, I don't like the food. So I was like, all right, let's go ahead and get somebody to start doing some food variety in there. Let's change it up. I don't know what they're eating every day, but let's go ahead. Because apparently they're just being fed the same thing every single day. And it's like, well, no one's going to like that. So I was like, all right, let's get some food variety in there. And like I said, I did a lot of stuff. I set pay rates. I was like, okay, and if you work here, then you get this much. If you work on the steam shovel, because you're doing more, blah, 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 then you get that much. And I set pay rates, and I was like, okay, and pay rates. And then, and that's on top of the clothing. Everyone got a pair of clothing. Everyone got a pair of shoes. Everyone got food every single day. Everyone got a bunk. Because like, and I don't want to see anyone sleeping on the floor. I said, and I don't want anybody to sleep on the floor. My men have beds. I paid like $4,000 for houses to be built. So I was like, they better be sleeping. I don't care if there's a million of them. They better all have beds. So because I was paying out like crazy. I mean, there were 5 million people working on the Panama project, or like there were like 4 towns that were built, and Panama was actually moved one time because it was too close to the canal. It's like, well, we're gonna have to move the town. All right, sounds good. Good thing it wasn't made of very much, and they actually even reused the wood a couple times. One time I was like free wood to anyone. So a lot of people would pull off, and they made little houses and stuff out of the free wood. Like, I mean, I was, people. There's a reason why I was the FIA. Why I was the leader, because I was ridiculously kind and nice. Like people called me the white leader because I mean, I did food variety. I did people walking around their bare feet, or whatever, and their wet feet. And I was like, well, we got to get some waterproof boots to them. I mean, because I had known from the trenches and from a lot of my other building projects that people with wet feet, they get gangrene. Although some people were saying, oh, it's from them shooting up in the foot. Like, well, let's get those feet dry anyway, and so like I said, I'm doing this thing, and I'm making a lot of money, and I'm a very rich man. It's like, well, you are what you are how you act, If you act like a great person, and do great things, then you are a great person. So I was like, all right, I want dry feet on them. I want this. I want a pair of clothing for every single person. I want because a lot of them weren't wearing anything at all, or just a loincloth or just whatever, and they were getting soaked in water and stuff like that. And I was like, well, let's try and get some waterproof jackets or something, to them, because that's part of the Panama Canal too, was my waterproof jackets or whatever. They were working on a waterproof, some way of putting like a layer of rubber or a layer of oil, and then some sort of like thing or jacket or something that would keep them dry or whatever. But it was also hot, so there was that too. And anyway, I was having every complaint come to me. I was like, all right, well, let's go ahead and do this. And I had some straw beds made, and then we got some better beds, and we got box spring beds, and I paid for that. Each those beds were worth like $300. The beds in Panama. Oh wow, they were like I spent like $1,000 on bed frames, because mining, by the time you consider the mining cost, and then the smelting cost, and then the construing cost of making the bed spring, and then the bed springs would get weak. I mean, 90% of it was actually just all the stuff I did for my workers. I mean, I did all this, we started out with nothing, there's just a bunch of people just like, and in the process of building the Panama Canal, I'm like, all right, I need this, we're going to need that. I'm also going to need, I mean, and then the complaints were coming into me, and I was like, all right, let's do this about that. I mean, Panama, it was this giant, enormous project that took almost 500 years. Actually, the Panama Canal took 500 years, honestly, and I was doing like this and that, and the metal, the iron from Panama was actually going to Germany because I had I had German manufacturing, so I was having it sailed to Germany, and and I forget. Anyway, it's a world thing. It's what I was before. It's who I am. It's how I had the world. And I was like, okay, and this does this, and we're gonna need that for that, and I want this and that. And then all the stuff that was made. And winches and stuff like that. And there was. Anyway, I had probably even had elephants on there, making the roads and stuff. I mean, there was a road first through Panama along the thing, to survey. Because at first I was like, well, you're going to need to get an idea of what's going on. So we're going to need to get the area cleared. And then I think I might have even cleared the people out and actually bombed the whole route. I was like, all right, I want you to drop a bomb every 500 feet or so, so we can know the route of Panama. So they were like, I'm always like they'd probably say that I was always like this, like this guy. It's like when I'm doing a project usually, except for like the war and everything else, it's like, millions, like 5 million people, and there's like 3,000 of this person, 3,000 that person. And so I'm like $5 to this. Yeah, a lot of some of my people towards the end of the project, I was like $5 for you for your workers, and $1 for you, because you ran that team good. I mean, my people, like I'm serious, $5 for 30,000 people and $1 for the guy who ran them. People were like, it's a lot of people just like the food and stuff, and stuff like that. But also, like, people were rich. Them and their children had money because I gave them $1, and they lived on that dollar for like they're like, we still have money left over from your $1 you gave us. I was like, what? You didn't spend it? I was like, spend it! Come on! Buy some nice clothes. Like I was producing clothes and stuff, and I was like, buy some nice clothes, man. Come on. I don't give you this money so you can just hold on to it. I was like, I love you, but like, well, you asked us to save some for you. I was like, don't worry about it. I got more than enough money coming. So, I told my people to just go ahead and spend it. And we'll make more. And so like people started spending money like crazy, and they bought all kinds of nice stuff, and they're like, well, what are we going to do with our money? It's like, I'll give you more money. Don't worry. You just have to do something for me. So anyway, people love me because it's like, we're starving. We want more money. It's like, okay, you can have more money. It's no problem. I don't mind. Like I say, like people would everyone would say that I was the best, most coolest, most awesome boss, pay raises, looking at accident investigations. That every time a train fell over or whatever, there was an accident investigation, and then it's like, well, are you gonna fire him? It's like, no, just he's okay, right? And sometimes it's like, well, he died. Oh, why'd he die? Let's get some safety on that. Finding out why people died. Usually it was a guy that was next door. Next, usually there'd be a guy like next to the thing or something like that. I was like, well, let's get like I say, the accident investigation of the Panama should be all filed there. Every single accident that ever happened from the guy who. I was like, I don't care if a guy hits his thumb with a hammer. I want there to be a record of that, because I want to know. Because we're not going to be able to fix things if we don't know about them. So. Anyway, and all that stuff was going back to Germany, and Germany was like, we did all this stuff. Accident investigations, everything, it was all big. I was like, move, Republicans. It's not a republic, other than the fact that I am Lucifer White Star.